Alright guys, so the first trailer for the second half of Star Wars Rebels is finally here, so with that in mind, let's just jump right into it. And as the trailer opens, we see Ezra, and he's waking up because he's hearing something. It almost sounds like he's hearing some like weird voices, like someone's chatting off in the distance and everything. And as he starts walking, down the corridor, he sees the message from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, of course, this is a message for all the Last Jedi and everything to obviously stay away. It's a warning. It's about Order 66. We know this. And we've, of course, seen Kanan kind of play around with this and everything. But it looks like Ezra is finally going to see it, which is going to set him down, a new path. Now, next up right here, we have what seems to be almost a Magna Guard looking droid. I don't think it's exactly supposed to be like the ones that were with Grievous and everything in episode 3, but you can tell some of that influence, and that's definitely the look they're going for. After that, we go to this scene, which is the Ghost flying towards a planet, and we already know by now that this is in fact Geonosis. Now, of course, most of you will remember that this was seen in Star Wars Episode 2, and of course this is where the plans for the Death Star were seen before they were taken away. Now we actually see the rebels. They're walking through some ruins and everything, and end up finding a bunch of like imperial looking ball things. I don't even know what these are really, but of course we see that it's Saul Guerrero looking at them, and we know that he is going to develop that breathing problem and everything he has on Geonosis. So I won't really be surprised if this is some sort of like chemicals or something in there that are gonna get in his lungs, and that's how it's explained. And speaking of Saul Guerrero, once again, we get another look at him. Obviously, this is the same characters, in case you guys are wondering, that is in Star Wars Rogue One, played by Forrest Whitaker. Now, obviously, in this, he's a little bit younger and everything. Like I said, no breathing apparatus or any of that sort. And of course, we've even seen that they don't exactly agree with his ways of doing this rebellion, because they say that, it's extreme. He takes it to new extreme measures, and we kind of get a look at this in Rogue One. Now, next up, we of course see Grand Admiral Thrawn, and of course with him we see the Death Troopers, which of course made their on-screen debut, in live action at least, in Star Wars Rogue One. And of course we now know that the reason they don't appear anywhere else is because they strictly are with the Grand Admirals. After that, we transition to a scene where we see the rebels kind of getting together and everything. We of course see a few familiar faces. We see Bail Organa. Of course, he's probably the most familiar. He made his appearance in the Star Wars prequels, and of course is in Star Wars Rogue One, still played by Jimmy Smits. And we might as well transition to the most familiar face, which of course we see Mon Mothma, and she's with the rebels here. Now we see a bunch of other members flying around with them. We see Zeb in the back and everything, so I'm assuming this is probably going to be towards the end of the season, and I think this is definitely going to be the last season if they don't do another like flash forward or anything. So this could be the last time we see everybody before their inevitable demise. And speaking of familiar faces, here is Grand Moff Tarkin. Of course, we saw him in Rogue One, we see him in A New Hope, and he obviously has had a presence in Star Wars Rebels throughout its 3 seasons so far, so it's really no surprise that he's still going to be around. And speaking of being around, we finally are going to get more on Sabine's story. Now, obviously here we see her, and she is on Mandalore, and it looks like she's actually trying to get the support and full help of the Mandalorians, to try to get them to really back the rebellion. Now, obviously, I don't think I have to put it out there, but they're probably not going to, because, well, they don't really show up in Rogue One or anywhere down the road, so I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that her mission to get them to back them really fails. And here we of course see her. She's like asking her mom for permission and everything, when she has the she has this sword, and everybody's like even Kanan's like, listen, if they see you have that sword, they're gonna be after you, so hide it well. Now, next up, a quick scene where we see a bunch of smoke and everything, a bunch of stormtroopers running, and if we look close enough, I'm willing to bet that that is Wolf Yurlin, who of course was seen in Star Wars A New Hope. And after that, we are taken to the last scene of the trailer where we see a fire, and as the camera is kind of revealing to us, we see that this is in fact Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, on the other side of the fire, opposed to him, we of course see that Darth Maul is officially here, and it looks like these two are about to battle it out. Obi-Wan gets up, he of course does the familiar familiar stance that he's known for, specifically due to, the Clone Wars and everything like that. And it looks like this is going to be the final confrontation and the demise of Darth Maul. Overall, a really solid trailer, and I cannot wait to see what happens. It is probably going to be the last season of Rebels, and honestly, I'm okay with it because it looks like they're going to end it on a super high note.